This is Ramona's Gift to Music, the podcast where we connect with individuals who are committed to making a positive impact on the musical lives of youngsters.
Hi, everyone. My name's John Mangione. I am the co-founder of Ramona's Gift to Music, and we're sharing a lot of different stories with a lot of great musicians from all over, and I am here today with Nick Troiani. He's in multiple bands. We're going to get into all of it. But Nick, let's just start out. Refresh my memory. How did we meet?
I was just in the other room thinking the same thing. Exactly. How did we meet?
I know you were teaching.
Yes. I think through Bob. And then I was working at a high school.
Bob.
Bob Di Giovanna.
Bob, right,
yes,
Di Giovanna.
Yes, I'm in a band.
Another Italian descent. It's
I only hang out with Italians.
Okay.
So no, just kidding. So through him, through Ramona, and then
right.
Ramona Music, and then I was working at a high school, and we needed some instruments. I reached out to you, and your foundation was extremely generous and provided some instruments, much needed instruments for that school.
That was in Oyster Bay.
Oyster Bay, St. Dominic's.
Okay.
St. Dominic High School.
And we've done a couple of little shows for them.
We have, yes, absolutely. So just been a great organization you have here, and just making such a huge difference to young musicians.
Well,
so we thank you.
We appreciate your support very, very much.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about some of the projects you have going on. Your claim to fame is really putting together BonJourney, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, the tribute
How did
band.
that come about?
That actually happened because I actually, about 15 years ago, auditioned for another Journey band, and they wanted to move in a different direction. I found out they took out an ad needing a keyboard player, and it just really, I don't know if I can say pissed me off. It pissed me off, so I just decided I'm just going to start my own Journey band, and then I just incorporated the Bon Jovi stuff. So since 2010, we've just been working on this and playing all over.
So you're 15 years into this.
Into this, yes.
Yeah, I'm a musician, so math is not
That's okay. Yeah, so 15 years, yes.
And how do you get all the musicians together?
Through recommendations, and back then, well, most of the musicians are through recommendations, but I found my drummer through Craigslist. And
okay.
I just posted I need a drummer, and I had maybe like 12 people that answered that ad, and we just settled in on Matt. He's a big Journey fan, gigantic. He's actually friends with some of the actual real Journey members, actually, which I found out later on in life. So he uses some of their drums, actually. Their drummer, Dean Castanova, actually donated his snare and a tom and a couple of cymbals. So they've become actually very good friends.
How many original members are still around from Journey?
He is the original member since 2010. And then over the years, we've had to replace because people just kind of move on.
Right.
I want to move out of New York. So, but Sean, our guitar player, has been with us for 12 years. Chris, our bass player, has been with us about 4 years. And Don Chafin, as you know, is our singer. He's been with us about 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
The band is phenomenal. You have to go look up BonJourney.
BonJourney NY. You got to put the NY there.
Well, we want to make sure that the audience can find you.
Yes.
So how'd you get into music?
It's just when I was about 10 years old, and just listened to like Billy Joel and Elton John. I just fell in love with the piano, and just started taking lessons. And thanks to you, actually, I just came back from Smithtown High School. They did a career day on what it's like to be a working musician, and I just told the story about how when I went to college, I was the worst player. I sucked. And some people still may feel that way, actually. And the professor said to me, "Are you sure you're doing this? You sure you want to do this? You want to pursue something else?" But it just angered me, and I just went home and started practicing as much because I just wanted to keep up with the other piano players. And I knew I never was going to be on that level, but I at least wanted to keep up and be respectful. So, but the whole point of that whole story is of those other musicians, I'm the only one that's still playing.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So everybody else is like doctors and accountants and everything else, which is great, but I'm the only one that's still playing. So
where'd you go to school?
5 times college.
Okay.
Yeah. So did the 2 years at first because they were in Seaford back in 100 years ago. So I did the 2 years, and then I just took the time off because I was, trying to make it as a rock star, which never happened, of course, which is fine. And then I went back later on for my bachelor's and eventually got my master's in education from them.
So tell the young musicians and artists that are on here, you just spoke at Smithtown High School West, was it?
West, yes.
And it was a career day. So you're talking about the life of a musician, but you mentioned something very interesting. You say you didn't make it, but you did. You made a life out of giving music to all of your fans that follow you. Mm-hmm. So what do you say to young musicians that if they do decide to go into another career, but they want to play? What did you say to those kids that day?
I said, just drive, don't give up. Just don't give up. That's it. Believe in yourself and just keep the drive going. Most people give up before they really get to where they want to be. But if you just keep at it, there's room for everybody. You don't have to be the best player in the world, but if you're professional and you do your job, you'll succeed.
Yep,
you'll be all right.
100%.
You'll be all right.
So are you still teaching?
No, I am not. So I just do this full time, and I just recently made it official that I became a booking agent and have a new website up there. NT.
Go ahead, tell everybody.
NT Books Bands. NT, my initials, Books Bands, and that's our website and our Gmail. And working with a few bands. I'm in most of them, but I am working with a few bands. I just took on a Peter Frampton tribute, and I took on a '80s glam band and. A group that we're familiar with from the Rock and Roll U, the Broken Nails.
Well, we have. I'm going to be talking with the other co-founder, my brother-in-law, Michael Cuellar. We'll be talking with Jessica. We're going to do another podcast with her.
Okay.
And tell them about how that came about with Broken Nails.
I came to 89 North because you were doing a benefit for Ramona Music, and I was sitting there, and these teenage girls, which I thought they were in college. You
and me both. I told her to bring in children, and she brings in these professional musicians.
Right. So she brings in this group, and I'm like saying, oh, and they're doing Rush, and they're doing Ozzy Osbourne, and they're doing all that.
They did Black Dog by Led Zeppelin, and
I'm like, holy.
Yeah.
And then I just started talking to one of the parents, and can you help us book? And that was probably 2 years ago, I think, right?
And they've already played My Father's Place.
They played My Father's Place. They've opened up for us in Wisconsin. And again, this year they will, thanks to you. And Heritage Park. And I'm just talking this morning about getting them a gig in Patchogue.
Awesome.
So...
They were 14 and 15 years old when you saw them.
I know. They're amazing. They're really amazing. And the sweetest kids, too.
Yes.
They are the sweetest kids. So.
They are. So you mentioned you're booking, and you're in some of those other bands. What are the other bands?
Besides the BonJourney band, I'm in an ELO tribute band called Strange Magic with your friend Bob and Steve. A country band called Rusty Spur, and an 80s band called Rock of 80s, which we're going through a name change. So, but those are the 4 bands right now. So,
how do you keep track of all the music you have in your head with all these different genres?
Index cards.
You do? You cheat? You have your little cheat cards?
The ELO stuff you have to, because Jeff Lynn's arrangements, they're just... He must have been on something. Sorry, Jeff. Because it just structurally, it's not like just 4 times, or it's like 2 times, and then it's like 2.5 times, and then it's 3 times. So the arrangements are actually quite involved. But,
explain to the audience what you're talking about with form in music.
Just
2 times, 4 times,
right.
2.5 times.
So we're talking about form in the arrangement of the song. So most songs are just verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, out. So it's like. Maybe like 4 lines of verse and then 4 lines of chorus, and then there's a bridge of 2 lines. So,
very symmetrical.
Symmetric, thank you, yes. So with ELO, it might be 2.5 times, and then it might be 4, and then it might be 3 lines instead of 4, and he's just brilliant. He's a genius.
And to be honest, I never really, I never analyzed any ELO. I never played along. So I wouldn't know that. You would. That's amazing.
And I got to see him at the Garden last September. He played Madison Square Garden, so that's bucket list check. So
anything else on your bucket list? That's a good question.
Besides playing Madison Square Garden? No, just trying to spread the good word of music and trying to help young people try to pursue their dream.
Well, you do that a lot.
Oh, thank you.
And I know you've tapped into Ramona's gift to music
Absolutely.
a couple of times. And so far to date, knock on wood, haven't used the two-letter word no. We've been able
fantastic.
to really help when somebody comes to us and asks. So we appreciate you being a big advocate. Outside of music, what else is going on?
Outside, the other thing I'm really passionate about is because not that I don't have money to give, right? So I have time. So the other organization I work for is Make-A-Wish. So I am a Make-A-Wish wish granter. So when a child who's very sick wants a wish fulfilled, I'll go over the house and interview the family and make sure that wish gets delivered.
What's the most amazing thing that you've come across giving that gift?
It's just the transformation of a child who was sick is healed almost, because there's so much joy that comes from that, and just the joy on their face. It's the greatest feeling.
How did that enter your life?
I was watching ESPN about 7 years ago, and they have a program called Make a Wish. It's just called Wish, and they had a kid who wanted to meet a baseball player and who had cancer. So that was his wish to meet. I don't remember who the player was. I think it was someone on California Angels. And the player came and treated the kid and played catch with him and played baseball and gave him baseballs and signed bats and everything. And I'm not afraid to admit, I was just sitting there just crying my eyes out, because this was so touching. And the next day I reached out to him and said, hey, I want to be a volunteer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing how things touch your life differently. So what's on the horizon with some of these bands? Next venues that you're playing at?
We have a few shows. Each band is playing somewhere. Coming up this weekend, we're at the 80s bands at Catch, and then we have the country band as a private thing on Saturday. But the event that we're super excited about is on September 27th, where the BonJourney band is playing Malloy College, and it's for the Ted Fest scholarship, music scholarship. First year they're doing it.
Wow.
Ted's wife, Gail. Ted was a staple in Rockville Center. He passed away about a year and a half ago, and he's just a great person in the community. So his wife wants to start a music scholarship, and this concert is kicking off that.
That's amazing.
That scholarship.
They have a beautiful auditorium
It's
too,
gorgeous.
and they've been doing promoting some nice acts. Even some jazz musicians have been going into there.
Yes. So
what's the largest venue you've ever played at?
we just played the Hard Rock in Oklahoma, Hard Rock Live in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So it was quite the experience.
You guys flying? You get the bus? How do you guys?
We're flying. We're definitely flying. I'm not sitting in a van with these guys for 15 hours. So no, we flew, and they just treated us like we were, more than we probably should have been. To me, it's just a cover band, but some people treat it differently than others. But to me, we're just playing music that we love.
Yeah, but they want to feel like they're seeing the authentic
Yes, I guess so, yes.
band, and you guys try to give that experience
We try to give
people.
that experience as best we could.
So there's no reason why you shouldn't take the accolades.
Okay. All right, I'll take them.
Take the accolades, because you guys are amazing. And I've seen Rusty Spur. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You got some great singers in there. What do you think, aside from you being the glue that keeps all the bands together, what musically do you think makes the bands as authentic as they are?
That's a good question. See, that question would have been good if you would have sent it to me in advance, because then I would have a better answer. Yeah.
I like putting people on
I know,
the
I could
spot.
see that. I'm probably a little blushing a little bit too at this point. I think it's just a love that we just have for the music. I don't know if this is really answering the question. I'm not trying to beat around. I sound like a politician now. But I think it's just a love that we have for the music, and we try to replicate it as close as possible, because I think that's what people expect to see
Right.
and see and hear. So.
How does the audience, do you feel, perceive how authentic you are? Do you think they can really tell when you're playing all the right notes?
I think so. Yeah, I definitely think so. Absolutely. Yeah.
They know when you're not.
They know if you mess up a lyric, that's for sure. So like.
So would you say the vocals are a pretty important part?
They're extremely important, and there are like little things like if we're doing like the Jovi stuff that he does live, like if you know the song "Wanted Dead or Alive," in the middle of after the middle of the song, he'll just go yeah, and people just expect to hear that, and if we don't do it, someone in the audience will do it.
It's amazing when you look at the audience and they are mouthing every single word.
Yeah.
And I know I speak to a lot of other musicians who do, cover bands, tribute bands. I mean, back in the day, they weren't called tribute bands.
Right.
There was no such thing as a tribute band. You were a cover band and you played all the popular music of the time.
Right.
You went from southern rock to classic rock to disco. Well, some of the southern rock and classic rock bands would never play disco, but they'd mix it up quite a bit. Nowadays, it's all about tribute bands. People want to relive their childhood through the music of a band that they loved.
Well, even the real bands, as I call them, most of them don't have the original members.
No.
So they have maybe one member. So they're, in essence, they're really almost like tribute bands. Even though if they've been in the band for like 10 years, growing up, my favorite band was Foreigner. Still my favorite band, right? So, but they have no original members.
And they still go out.
And they're still with
and they have the rights to use Foreigner. Interesting.
Yeah. So quite interesting, I think.
What's next in your life?
I'm just going to keep playing, and I'm going to see if this agency that I just started could be successful and just help book bands and still do my volunteer stuff and help out anyone I can.
What does the agency look like? Are you looking for bands to come to you and say, hey, I'll find you gigs?
Not really, because realistically, if I have 50 bands, I'm not going to get 50 bands work. So right now, there's about 10. So probably do a couple more, and that's about it. But what I will have on this website is musicians for hire. So, and what that will be is starting probably tomorrow. I'm going to have a list of musicians. Like if you need a sub, go to the website and find a guitar player, bass player, saxophone player. Okay, so you're on my list, on top of my list, by the way.
Okay.
So for your sax, woodwinds. So I want almost like a referral system. So, because people always need, everyone in so many bands, multiple bands, that they, from time to time, need a sub, like you were just saying out there.
We talk about it all the time, and especially the material that we're playing nowadays. Back when it was happening, and you were in a band and you played an Allman Brothers song, not every guitar player knew every Dickie Betts solo.
Right, absolutely.
Nowadays, you got all of those musicians from the 70s who've been playing Allman Brothers their whole life, and there's a plethora of guitar players that you could call up and go, I need you Friday night.
Right.
Back then, you couldn't do it. Nowadays, are the level of musicians a little higher, you think?
I think so. Yeah.
Why?
I think YouTube. I mean, I go to YouTube too, sometimes too. I think technology has its flaws, but it all has a lot of positives. And I think between the use of technology and some traditional stuff, I think music. Well, you see, like Broken Nails. Like the 14-year-old girl.
How did they learn that stuff?
Yeah, and they're playing stuff.
We have to give some kudos to Jessica.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Yeah. Without a doubt. Yes.
I mean, because. Then that's not the only band that's come out of her school that is at that quality.
Absolutely. I know there's another band, Avenue, played that, and I heard some really great things about them too. So, yeah, but younger people seem to be grasping it quicker than like when I was younger. Just based on my college days, how hard time I had just getting to that level. But and I think YouTuber is really a big part of that. Yeah.
Do you play anything else other than the keys?
I play a little bit of that, a little bit of this. I had to because I taught band for a little while in high school. So nothing that I would ever play in public. But if you ask me to play, a couple notes on a sax or a clarinet, I could do that. But I would never go out and play in public. But Mainly keyboard is really my main thing. Yeah.
Do you miss the teaching?
I do not.
You do not?
I do not.
Okay.
I do not. I do sub once in a while because they're in such desperate need for subs. So I just, once in a while I will just go in. I don't miss it. I just think the phones have ruined everything. And I know they're passing this law in September.
Yeah.
Kathy, I don't think it's going to work because, Kathy Hochul, I don't think it's going to work because I think most kids have more than one phone. So they'll put their one phone that's what happens. They'll put their one phone.
I would never even think of that.
Yeah. So they'll put the phone in the little storage area and they'll have another phone in there and they'll say, oh, can I use the bathroom? And that's what's going to happen.
Well, to all the young artists, the young musicians out there, take it from Nick. Put the phones away, learn a craft, go out and play sports.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get out there. It is a world that, unfortunately, you and I did not grow up in,
right.
But we have to manage it.
We have to try to adjust.
We definitely have to manage it.
Absolutely.
But you need to practice your craft on a regular basis to get to any kind of a level.
Right, regardless of what you decide to do. Absolutely.
I'm going to throw another curveball at you. One thing your fans, the audience, you'd like to share with them that they wouldn't know about you by looking you up online?
About the band in general?
Anything. Something nobody knows about you.
Oh.
I like putting people on spots.
Yeah, you like the curveballs, right? It's baseball season. So,
are you into sports?
I used to be. And then I kind of stopped. I grew up a Met fan because I grew up in Queens, and if you grow up in Queens, you have to be a Met fan. I was a football fan for a very long time. Then I just kind of phased out. But,
okay.
But I'm happy for the Knicks. They're up 3-1, so I'm happy about that. As for not knowing, I don't know. I think I like to think we're personally like I'm pretty shy actually, so I like to be in the back.
Okay.
So I don't like really all that kind of stuff, but I think most people know about that.
And being shy with all of the things that you manage, it's another thing that the audience should know about.
Yeah.
That every personality has drive and the character to be successful.
That's true.
So you don't have to be aggressive. You don't have to be gregarious, and you can still be very, very successful.
That's true.
Tell everyone, all the bands, websites, how to find you before we close out.
If you just go to NT Books Bands, I made it easy for everybody, and all the bands.
NT Book Bands.
And Books Bands, plural. .com. All the bands are on there with all the links to their YouTube video. And if you want to book any of them, please reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to help you get them booked.
Nick, I really appreciate
John,
your time today.
Absolutely.
This was a great time to spend with a great friend of mine and a phenomenal musician. Make sure you get out. BonJourney, Rusty Spur, ELO,
Strange Magic.
Strange Magic. Make sure you get out and you follow them. I promise you, you will be amazed at the level of musicianship you'll see on that stage.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
If you've been touched by what you've learned today and would like to make a tax-deductible contribution to help further our cause, please visit rgmfoundation.org. Thank you.